Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We've just heard the External Affairs Minister of India wrap up his speech in Parliament, the speech over Operation Sindoor, and the External Affairs Minister answering one very important question that the opposition has been raising. We'll try and put that out for you once again. So there are two things that the External Affairs Minister has said that will become subjects of debate. Number one, the External Affairs Minister has told the floor of the House that the Vice President of the United States of America, J.D. Vance, called up the Prime Minister on the 9th of May, warning that a massive attack was going to happen, and Pakistan is the one that is going to launch this massive attack against India. He also says that the Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister Modi, was very clear that if such an attack does take place, there will be retaliation. But ladies and gentlemen, the second point that the External Affairs Minister has made is even more important. He says, and it becomes important simply because the Congress party and opposition parties wake up every morning, they see President Trump's tweets about mediating a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, essentially forcing India and Pakistan to smoke the peace pipe, as it were. The government of India today officially countering that. These are the details that the External Affairs Minister has put out. He says there was no call between the 22nd of April, which is the day Pahalgam happened, to June 17th between the Prime Minister and Trump. Essentially, the External Affairs Minister is telling the country that President Trump of the United States of America had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the ceasefire between India and Pakistan, that it was Pakistan that reached out to India and said maybe it's time for a ceasefire. So the External Affairs Minister making it as official as it gets. We'll try and play that bite out for you at one point of time. In fact, you had the opposition raising some slogans to which Amit Shah got up angrily, the Home Minister of the country, to say you don't trust your own External Affairs Minister and what he says about the ceasefire, but you trust a second country. So let's see how the Congress reacts to that. For the moment, I can also tell you that after a 2-hour delay, and the delay courtesy the opposition that refused to debate Operation Sindoor and wanted to debate the SIR exercise currently in Bihar. After a 2-hour delay, the debate finally got underway today. The opening batsman for the BJP, for the government of India, was, of course, the Defence Minister of India, Rajnath Singh. The opener for the opposition was Gaurav Gogoi of the Congress party. Let's listen into what both of them said.
यह कहते हुए मुझे गौरव की अनुभूति हो रही है कि हमारे एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम, काउंटर ड्रोन सिस्टम और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इक्विपमेंट्स ने पाकिस्तान के इस हमले को पूरी तरह से नाकाम कर दिया। पाकिस्तान हमारे किसी भी टारगेट को हिट नहीं कर पाया, अध्यक्ष महोदय, और हमारे किसी भी इंपॉर्टेंट एसेट को नुकसान नहीं हुआ है। कभी कभी हमारे प्रतिपक्ष के लोग ये पूछते रहे हैं कि हमारे कितने बीमार गिरे। मुझे लगता है उनका यह प्रश्न हमारी राष्ट्रीय जनभावनाओं का सही से प्रतिनिधित्व नहीं कर रहा है। मुझे लगता है उन्होंने एक बार भी हमसे यह नहीं पूछा कि हमारी सेनाओं ने दुश्मन के कितने विमान मारे गिराए। आतंकवाद के खिलाफ हमारी लड़ाई अब केवल सीमा पर नहीं है, बल्कि वैचारिक मोर्चों पर भी लड़ी जा रही है। इसी उद्देश्य से प्रधानमंत्री जी कई हाई लेवल डेलीगेशंस का गठन भी उन्होंने किया था, जिसमें हमारे लगभग अधिकांश दलों के सम्मानित सदस्य उसमें शामिल थे। उसमें विभिन्न राजनीतिक दलों के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव शामिल थे और सचमुच इस समिति ने वैश्विक मंचों पर जाकर भारत की बात बहुत ही प्रभावी तरीके से रखी और आतंकवाद के विरुद्ध वैश्विक समर्थन को उन्होंने मजबूत किया। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं उन सभी डेलीगेशन के सम्मानित सदस्यों के प्रति शीश झुकाकर आभार व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने भारत का आतंकवाद के खिलाफ स्टैंड तथा जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बारे में दुनिया के देशों को सही तरीके से अवगत कराया, प्रभावी तरीके से अवगत कराया।
वे 26 लोग जो जिनके परिवारों में आज कोई गुजर गया, वे ये भी जानना चाहता है कि 100 दिन गुजर गए और वे 5 दहशतगर्दियों को ये सरकार पकड़ नहीं पाई। आपके पास ड्रोन है, आपके पास पेगासस है, आपके पास सैटेलाइट है, वहां पे सीआरपीएफ है, वहां पे बीएसएफ है, वहां पे सीआईएसएफ है, वहां पे आदरणीय गृह मंत्री कुछ दिन पहले ही गए थे पूरा रिव्यू लेने के लिए, और आप किसी को पकड़ नहीं पाए।
So you've had the defense minister of the country ask the opposition, why is it that you're not actually asking the right questions? Why are you not asking the government how many assets of Pakistan we destroyed, instead of asking us how many Indian Air Force fighter jets were downed by Pakistan? So the defense minister saying that's the wrong question you are asking, to which Gaurav Gogoi is saying we have the right to ask questions. We have the right to ask why Pahalgam happened in the first place, why there was an intelligence failure, and why it took 97 days to trace the terrorists behind the Pahalgam attack. We'll talk about Operation Mahadev in just a bit, but for the moment, let's quickly listen in to what the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has said, something that is bound to make headlines.
Now, I want to make 2 things very clear, sir. One, at no stage in any conversation with the United States was there any linkage with trade and what was going on. Secondly, there was, please listen. Secondly, there was no call between the Prime Minister and President Trump from the 22nd of April, when President Trump called up to convey his sympathy, and the 17th of June, when he called up Prime Minister in Canada to explain why he could not meet.
My guests this evening, let me quickly introduce them to you. Gopal Krishna Agarwal is National Spokesperson of the BJP. Mr. Agarwal, thank you for your time. Shekhar Iyer is a senior journalist joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Akashdeep Muni is a political analyst representing the Congress Party, and Tehseen Poonawalla is a political analyst joining us on the broadcast as well. Thanks, Tehseen, for coming.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Akashdeep Muni, can I start by asking you if the questions that you had relating to Operation Sindoor, whether they have been conclusively answered or not? You now have the External Affairs Minister of India, sir, on the floor of the House, making it as clear as he can be that there was no telephone call between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump over a ceasefire. There was no talk of ceasefire at all, despite what Mr. Trump claims every second morning.
See, today's Parliament session was more of questions rather than answers.
No, there's an answer that has been given. Today there are answers that have been given.
I'll just take 1 minute of time so that I'll put some questions, and you tell me, has the answers been given? How did the terrorists infiltrate Pahalgam? Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi repeatedly asked the Defense Minister to explain the apparent failure of intelligence that allowed militants to reach Pahalgam. No answers. If there are answers given, please put on your screen. Why were losses admitted by the CDS abroad and not by the government at home? Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan, speaking from Singapore, publicly confirmed that India suffered fighter aircraft losses due to the initial stages of Operation Sindoor. Why these details were not disclosed internally rather than internationally it was done? Why Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had not raised them in all party meetings? We lack, there is a serious lack of transparency. I asked that why there was no review committee as it was in the terms of Kargil Review Committee. Why there is no transparency? Why the questions of Lieutenant General Rahul R. Singh, Deputy Army Chief, who said that Pakistan is just a front face, China is the real face behind it. Why action against China is not taking place? And at the end, I'll just ask one question. That Lallan Singh, the BJP MP, called Masood Azhar Sahab and Atangwadi, he says, Shaheed hote hain. I want to ask BJP and the media, who is Masood Azhar Sahab, and will they condemn Lallan Singh, the MP, or not?
Okay, so Dr. Akashdeep Muni, you are saying the uncomfortable questions have not been answered. But let me ask you a counter question. One of the big points that the opposition, especially the Congress party, has been bringing up in the last 90 odd days is that Trump that America was the one that mediated a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Will the Congress party after today stop asking that question? Because we have to believe what our external affairs minister is saying, and he is saying it with responsibility, given that he is not speaking at some conference somewhere, he is speaking on the floor of the House.
The Honorable External Affairs Minister clearly said that there was no call between American President and our Honorable Prime Minister. But there was not a single statement that there was no mediation. Has he said there was no mediation by America on any ground with Pakistan when the ceasefire happened? And bigger question is, why the ceasefire happened when we were winning? Why didn't we go and take POK? Why didn't we extend our boundaries as cited by BJP MPs only previously? BJP MP said that let's go and take about
POK की बात शुरू करेंगे तो फिर बात बहुत दूर तक जाएगी ना. So let's not talk about POK today, because here then we will have to go to Nehru and talk about why POK was given away in the first place. So let's not go that far. Let's stick to what has happened in the last 97 days. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, you're representing the BJP. Would you want to come in here? The essential point that Akashdeep Muni is making is this. Has the External Affairs Minister categorically said that Prime Minister Modi and Donald Trump had no conversation on mediation or a ceasefire? He's saying, unhone to bola phone call nahi kiya from the 17th, from the 22nd to the 17th.
We have to understand that when Rajnath Singh ji said that no external mediation was there, and now they cannot relate this with the External Affairs Minister and Defense Minister. What if they are not trying to accept any answer? Anybody who listens to what the Prime Minister has said outside the Parliament, within the Parliament, Defense Minister has said, earlier they said ki no, outside the Parliament everybody has said, but we want it to be said in the floor of the House. Now when the Defense Minister and Foreign External Affairs Minister has said, tomorrow Home Minister will also talk, they will not accept. So the issue is not that they are understanding the thing, is they are not accepting it. There are certain suggestions. They are now putting it as questions. The issue is why terrorists have infiltrated. How can anybody? The thing is that
No. Mr. Agarwal, that question needs to be answered. How did these terrorists infiltrate is a question that needs to be answered. It's a critical question, and that question has not been answered.
Therefore, everybody knows that Pakistan has been running terrorist camps, etc. There are hundreds and hundreds of camps, and they are not today that in the last 90 days they have developed those camps. It is continuing. We are destroying. The thing is, what was the response? You have to compare the response with the Congress, UPA did, and we have done. It is not that the complete terrorist problem has been completely eradicated. It is there, but the problem is how we are tackling and how UPA was tackling that problem. That is the difference we have to see today. And if we have said that now there is no terrorist problem with the Pakistan, then they can say no, still there is a problem. We are saying that there is a problem. Therefore, Operation Sindoor is continuing. It is not stopped.
Tehseen Poonawala, theek hai, Mr. Agarwal, theek hai. I'll come back to you. Tehseen Poonawala, the problem is that at this point of time, the government can say what it wants to say. It seems the opposition is not ready to be convinced. As I said, the opposition in this country and every country has absolutely every right to ask tough, difficult questions of the Prime Minister and of the ruling dispensation. It's their job. It's their job description. They need to do it. But is the entire point of this exercise, of this debate over Operation Sindoor, simply to embarrass the government? Aapne ye nahi kiya, ye nahi kiya, ye nahi kiya, ye nahi kiya. Jo theek kiya, they don't want to talk about it.
So Shreya, grateful for having me on the show. Good evening to you, to all my fellow panelists, and to all the viewers. Let's go step by step. I'll start with what Gopalji ended with and what the Honorable Raksha Mantri said in Parliament. And the Honorable Raksha Mantri said in English, I'm paraphrasing him in English, that Operation Sindoor has paused. If Operation Sindoor is paused, and we believe it's a pause, why the hell are we playing cricket with Pakistan? Why? Either you're pregnant or not pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. Wahan pe you will do gutter with Pakistan, play cricket and make money for them, and you say, no, here you can't ask questions. You will demoralize our armed forces. Why? Vote can't go hand in hand. If I can't go hand in hand, so can't they. Let's be clear on that. Now, says Gopalji, I never interrupted you. Please give me the courtesy. There's a views of time now. Now let's go to one step further. The question to be asked out here is, first, what caused Operation Sindoor? Operation Sindoor was caused by a hate speech by Asim Munir, which led to Pahalgam. In Pahalgam, may I remind the viewers of times now, 4 terrorists entered my country, checked the pants of my countrymen, made them recite the kalma and shot them in the head. Why is there repeatedly a intelligence failure from Pulwama to Pahalgam, from Pathankot to Pulwama to Pahalgam? Why is the IB chief giving extensions? If I'm asking that, you're telling me I'm against the country. Such an IB chief should have been sacked. Forget the IB chief. NSA Ajit Doval should have been answering that. Now let's come to the third part. I completely believe, and I've said this publicly, that Operation Sindoor was a roaring success. We smashed Pakistan. Forget it, doesn't need Shreya and Tehseen or anyone to say it. The Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif ji has said that we smashed Pakistan and they had to beg for a ceasefire. Now that that is the truth, that they had to beg for a ceasefire, I'm not bothered about if some equipment of mine is damaged. The question that I'm asking is, it is my CDS, our CDS who went to Singapore and gave an interview, who asked him to give that interview. It is our defense attaché who said in Indonesia that we lost our planes only because the government held us back. If the government held us back, the defense attaché is saying this, and the opposition is saying, why is the government holding people back to understand questions of what could be mistakes not to make the next time? You can't say we are against the army. We want our army to win, and I'll end with one thing. I completely believe there was no mediation. India will not accept mediation. I completely believe President Trump is lying. But look at the answer. President Trump didn't speak to Prime Minister Modi. Why can't it just be one simple line?
No, I think it was simple enough.
You believe so?
Yeah, I believe.
Is that your take? Then I will believe it.
But the defense minister has said it, and then
there's no mediation, and they didn't speak. And it's not J.D. Vance who then spoke to the rest of them. Fine.
So I think the government has made it very clear that there was no mediation. That when it comes to ceasefire,
and I hope
President Trump and Prime Minister Modi did.
And I believe that. But I'm also believing that. You actually interrupted me. You took my punchline. I also believe that. I actually believe that. I'm just saying one thing. I want my Prime Minister to say this on the floor of the House. Exactly. And I think my Prime Minister can say that.
He'll be speaking
Prime Minister should take on
Give me a minute.
I trust the Prime Minister.
Yeah, okay. Give me a minute. We all trust the Prime Minister. He's speaking on the floor of the House tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll quickly take a break. We are coming back to this discussion, ladies and gentlemen, because the debate in Parliament is ongoing as we speak. In fact, it's expected to last beyond 10 p.m. this evening. For the moment, though, a quick break. And just asking for some patience from my guests who are joining me this evening, because I do want to go straight across to Parliament for a couple of minutes, where the young member of Parliament of the BJP from Bangalore South is now speaking. Let's listen in to Tejasvi Surya.
Tejas would not have been a reality in this country. They had tried to kill all of these made in India defense projects. Madam, 3 साल पहले जनरल बिपिन रावत जी ने एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण कार्यक्रम में देश को बताया था that India should be ready to face a 2.5 front war. मैं आज इस देश को इस महत्वपूर्ण सदन से बताना चाहता हूं कि दिस 0.5 फ्रंट जो है वो कांग्रेस पार्टी और इसके इकोसिस्टम है जो भारत के अंदर से भारत को खोखला करने के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। और मैं बहुत जिम्मेदारी के साथ ये बात कह रहा हूं मैडम, और मैं तथ्य के साथ इसको प्रूव करूंगा। मैडम, आज कांग्रेस पार्टी ने टेररिज्म के बार इतना बड़े बात कह रहे, बड़े बात। बट व्हाट हैज बीन द कंसिस्टेंट पॉलिसी ऑफ कांग्रेस पार्टी टुवर्ड्स टेररिज्म? मैडम, एक ही उदाहरण देना चाहता हूं। 2004 में जब इनकी सरकार सत्ता में आई, व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट स्टेप दैट दे डू? इट वाज टू रिपील द पोटा एक्ट। 2001 पार्लियामेंट अटैक के बाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेतृत्व वाली एनडीए सरकार अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी के नेतृत्व में देश को सुदृढ़ बनाने के लिए, टेररिज्म को खत्म करने के लिए, फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन दिस कंट्री वी इंट्रोड्यूस अ लेजिस्लेटिव फ्रेमवर्क मैडम आप भी कांग्रेस पार्टी से आते हैं. आई वांट टू रिमाइंड यू, मैडम, व्हेन राजीव गांधी, हाँ मैडम, व्हेन राजीव गांधी का ट्रायल चल रहा था, राजीव गांधी जी का ट्रायल चल रहा था, मैडम, जब राजीव गांधी जी की डेथ की, टेररिस्ट से हुई डेथ की ट्रायल चल रहा था, ट्रायल कोर्ट सेड we do not have exclusive terror legislations to prosecute. This was the state of affairs of this country.
That's Tejasvi Surya being rather provocative this evening, saying that one of the fronts that India is fighting on is essentially the Congress party.
I have something to say about the emergency exit member of parliament.
Shashi Tharoor?
No, the emergency exit member of parliament who was just speaking right now, who is known for emergency exits. It's, the parliament is a place where you discuss and the opposition is duty bound to ask questions. I will fail my duty in Times Now if I don't come and ask questions. I'll fail you and the viewers of Times Now. For continuously branding us as being anti-national. I think anti-national is opening plain doors when you're in the plane and acting juvenile. I think they should stop acting juvenile. The government should answer questions, not attack opposition this way.
Shekhar Iyer, is it really necessary to go on the floor of the House and say one of the fronts that India is fighting on is the Congress party? Is that the argument that the BJP can give on the floor of the House when a serious discussion and debate is taking place on Operation Sindoor, to say ye log anti-national hai?
Well, the kind of debate that has been going so far and the points that are coming out and opposition repeatedly, refusing to acknowledge one thing, which, repeatedly saying that the Modi did not counter Trump's claim, which is not true, because earlier you asked about that. Have we forgotten what the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, issued a statement after that 35-minute phone call, where specifically mentioned that our Prime Minister told Trump that the cessation of Operation Sindoor was on the basis at the request of Pakistan, and there was no third-party mediation which India has accepted or will ever accept. See, that was one thing that cleared, but nobody ever thinks that it has ever been said. And today, Jaishankar's point-by-point rebuttal of the points made on the floor of the House and outside, those are very important points. And
Absolutely.
as far as, one more thing, Shreya, whether it is coincidence or just how it has happened, I do not know. About the real perpetrators of the Pahalgam attack. Today we are getting the news about Operation Mahadev.
Correct. And
how some of the key masterminds have been gunned down today. These are very, very significant developments. And even as the debate is taking place, an operation is being concluded in Jammu and Kashmir. These are very important things happening, and this debate has thrown up a lot of questions, but equally very firm answers from the government.
Well, there is at least one firm answer that I've heard so far. And that one firm answer is that at no point of time did India buckle under American pressure for a ceasefire. It was Pakistan that wanted a ceasefire. They are the ones who extended their hand for a ceasefire, and that is how the ceasefire came about. It had nothing to do with America. That's one very clear answer I've got, but there are answers, there are questions that have still not been answered. That is very clear as well. Dr. Akashdeep Muni, I'm already hearing this narrative. And I'm already hearing this narrative over Operation Mahadev, where Suleiman Fauji, the chief perpetrator of the Pahalgam attack, the man who fired in the air in celebration after killing 26 Indians in Pahalgam, he has been killed today. The operation started in the morning. By 1 o'clock, even before the debate had started, news came in that the chief perpetrator of the Pahalgam attacks has been neutralized. Does this answer at least one criticism as far as the Congress party is concerned? Because one of the things that you were saying is, where are the people? Where are the people? Where are the terrorists? Now, the terrorists have been found. They have been neutralized as well.
See, Shreyaji, as per the government records, Asif Fauji, Suleiman Shah, Abu Talha, these three were from Pakistan, and Adil Hussain Thokar and Hassan was from India, who perpetrated the Pahalgam attack. Are you saying since 100 days this Pakistani was living in India and he was not traceable? And still Asif Fauji, Abu Talha, Adil Hussain and Hassan are still at large. They're not caught. This raises serious doubts where the buck stops. And till date we don't know, Shreya, where the buck stops. Does it stop at the Home Minister, NSA? Who is responsible for such intelligence failure? Who is responsible? We still don't know. And the most important factor is that what were the exact objectives and outcomes of Operation Sindoor? Like the Kargil Review Committee, don't we Indians have the right to know that what actually were the objectives and outcomes of Operation Sindoor? And what were the diplomatic or international costs of Operation Sindoor?
Okay.
These are the basic factors that we need to know.
But Mr. Muni, we are still waiting for the Prime Minister and the Home Minister of this country to speak. Unke liye bhi to bolne ke liye kuch saman chhodna hai na. Everything couldn't be said today on the floor of the House. So let's wait tomorrow. But you raise a very interesting question. Mr. Agarwal, you are smiling, but this is not a comfortable question for you either. Of course, the government is yet to officially step out and say that Suleiman Fauji, the terrorist killed in Jammu and Kashmir near Srinagar today, is the person who was behind the Pahalgam attacks. They are yet to come out and officially say it, but enough and more sources are saying it. In fact, Mr. Jay Panda has said it on the floor of the House. Mr. Krishna, Mr. Krishna Agarwal, एक minute सुन लीजिए. It's an interesting point that the Congress is raising. Are we to say that in the last 97 days of the Pahalgam attack, the terrorists who were behind Pahalgam were hiding in the jungles in Kashmir and we didn't have a clue?
Shreya, we have to understand that there are three sets of questions which opposition is raising. One is the questions that they had been raising since the Operation Sindoor, and many of them have been answered. There are certain suggestions which they are framing as questions.
अग्रवाल जी, आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए. लंबा चौड़ा जवाब नहीं, आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए. बड़ा pointed question आया है from Mr. Muni. So let's give him a pointed answer.
What is the question? That is the fact that he has been killed after 97 days. So where he must be in places where the armed forces did not get their hand on. So what is the question? The third, what I was telling was, there are three sets. One is suggestion and third is what more government should do. So that second part, the government should have done this, that's all. We'll take that as a suggestion. And there are certain facts what is that? There were many questions which the opposition asked. And the defense minister and the external affairs minister have answered. First, let them say those questions, we accept the answers or not.
Yeah, for the moment, the Congress is not saying that. For the moment, the Congress is not saying that. I think one thing has been made very clear after today, that there was no mediation, that America had nothing to do with the India-Pakistan ceasefire. It was purely a bilateral exercise. That question has been answered. But there are other questions that have not been answered. Possibly they'll be answered by the government tomorrow when the Home Minister and the Prime Minister speak. Thank you very much all for joining us. Thank you very much, Tehseen, Dr. Muni, Shekhar Iyer, and Gopal Krishna Agarwal.
Gopalji and Shekhar Iyer.
Thank you very much, everyone. A break. There's more news on the other side.